But first, we are following a major development out of the White House today. A U.S. official says President Biden will send 1,500 U.S. troops to the southern border.
This action comes in preparation for the end of Title 42, which is set to expire 1 week from Thursday. The pandemic-era measure allowed the U.S. to expel migrants without processing them on public health grounds. Millions of expulsions have taken place under the policy since March of 2020 when the pandemic started.
Now, the Biden administration sought to end the policy last year, but legal actions brought forward by Republican-led states have kept it active. Joining us now is CBS News chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes. Nancy, this is something that's happening right now, so tell us what details you have learned about what the troops will be doing at the border.
What we know, Lana and Lilia, is that these troops will be sent in for 90 days, essentially to back up Border Patrol agents, to perform some of the behind-the-scenes logistical work, transportation, data entry, things like that, working in warehouses to free up those Border Patrol agents at a very busy time. So these troops will not be interacting with migrants. They won't be interacting with individuals who are in detention, but basically they'll do a lot of the logistical work because there is the anticipation, once Title 42 lifts, of this huge surge of pent-up demand as migrants try to cross into the United States, and it's going to be an all-hands-on-deck situation. What I've been told is that these will be active duty troops to start, but they could be replaced by reserves by the end of the 90 days, and that supplements the 2,500 or so National Guard members who are already at the border working in a logistical capacity to help back up the Border Patrol.
So, this is one of many measures. We heard from Secretary Blinken last week that they're opening processing centers in several countries in South America and Central America, too. So this just seems like one other measure. But of course, thinking about troops, I think back at the Trump administration, I think back at covering the border and being there and seeing the troops and all of the political weight that that carried. How will Capitol Hill react to this news, and how is the president expected to defend it, from what you know?
I anticipate that Republicans will say, hey, why'd you take troops away from the border to begin with? Because the number of troops that are going to be sent there temporarily basically brings troop levels back up to around where they were at the end of the Trump administration. The Biden administration had sent a bunch of them home. This is all meant to send a signal by the Biden administration that they're on top of it, that they realize that there is going to be a massive number, a wave of migrants who try to cross the border. This is something that they've been girding for months. They thought it would happen sooner, but then, as you pointed out, there were those court challenges. So this is something they have always known would happen, and they'll tell you candidly that they're concerned about it, that they anticipate seeing very high levels of migrants from Central and South America trying to cross the border over the next few months, and it's likely to be a major challenge, not just for Border Patrol, but for cities right on the Texas side of the border, Arizona, California, where suddenly they are going to be inundated by many, many people seeking asylum. So yes, the administration is trying to do a number of things to discourage people from bringing their claims to the border itself, trying to get them to file for asylum in their own countries before they make the dangerous journey to the border. But no matter what they do, there's no question we are going to see larger numbers of migrants than we have in recent months.
Nancy, real quick, we have to ask you about the debt ceiling. Reportedly, Speaker McCarthy has accepted President Biden's invitation to sit down. How likely is it that this meeting next week is actually going to lead to an agreement?
I think it's just the start of discussions and conversations between the president and these 4 congressional leaders who he'll be sitting down with next week. The White House continues to say that there will be no preconditions for raising the debt ceiling. They say that's something that Congress needs to do, and they are not going to negotiate away spending in order to get that debt ceiling raised. But they do say that they are willing to have these talks about the budget, and that's clearly what this is. It is an opening conversation, everyone sort of feeling each other out. We now know that they are on a deadline because the Treasury Secretary has said that as soon as June 1st, 4 weeks from now, the government could run out of money to start to pay its bills, and so they've got to come up with some kind of resolution here.
Just 4 weeks. Yeah.
Nancy, thank you.
You're welcome.